Welcome back, everybody. Another episode of Power Tips coming to you. It would be great if I actually remember the name of our series. That would be awesome. So, Power Tips, another episode here to talk about Power Pages. So, a tool that admittedly we're not all three of us are not super engaged with on a regular basis, but still some interesting stuff in the notes. So, I will kick us off with a quick overview of old form and new form. So again, not being super familiar, I've only ever done a few projects on this tool myself personally. I've been part of a couple of others, but at arm's length. So this one speaks to me because one of the things that I hear a lot about Power Pages projects is the out-of-the-box sort of tool that you get, the output that you get is kind of bland. And so this one caught my eye because anything that we can do to help spruce up the way the forms look, the way lists look, and this was specifically about modern lists. And so the more we can make them look and feel like a modern website would, I think that's a great thing to have engage. And I realize now that I didn't put the preview dates because there are none, but that's not why I didn't put them there. I forgot. And so it's GA in September of 2025. So seems like a pretty good, fantastic addition to the tool. But again, I'm not entirely sure. There's no screenshots of exactly what it means or how it looks. So I'm eager to see those when they come out.
Interesting. Yeah, you can always kind of tell a Power Pages site because the form's kind of ugly.
Although I will say I was in a session at DynamicsCon. I think you guys were in the same one, right? And they did the guess which one is and isn't. And some of them we were like, I think one of them in particular, everybody was wrong. Everybody was like, that's got to be the Power Pages, and it wasn't. And the one that we didn't think was it was it was, and it was really nice. And so there was some surprise in the room.
Professionally designed.
Yeah.
Also, new tip around adding sections contextually. So lots of updates with Copilot across all the products. So I'm going to be able to use natural language to describe the section, and Copilot will generate it. And then you decide what you want to keep or what you want to change. And of course, you can still edit it within the design studio and update it to fit your brand. So again, I think this is something that's really helpful for those of us who are still new to Power Pages, still learning that. We can get Copilot to help us. But we got to see how this works in real life. Generally available, not yet announced, but will be available in preview in September. Any thoughts on this one?
I like natural language stuff. It's a great way to get started with things. I'm sure it's just good enough for the first draft, and there's much you'll need to do, like everything that Copilot spits out, like Power Automate and Power Apps, but I think it's an awesome way to get started.
Agreed.
Sure. And then we also have the security scan. So this is in public preview now, and I believe it's been in public preview since last May. If I remember correctly, but basically you can find this within your site tools, right? So you can identify weaknesses, evaluate the security, and then within that tool, you can review the results and receive suggestions on next steps. So I've used this, right? And it's really cool to give you some ideas. Not all of them are things you're necessarily going to need to implement, but things that you should research and figure out if that's something that you need to change for your site. And I think it's very important that we are looking at security for these sites, right? Because you're connecting to your Dataverse, potentially making some of that data available within the site, or you can even make some of that data available for people who are not logged into the site, right? So it's great to run these tools and make sure that that is fully secure. And so, like I said, that's in private preview now, and then will be generally available in June.
This is a big one, I think. The couple of projects I have been on have had lots of different pages where security was, to your point, Dataverse was being surfaced, and they had to make sure that the right pages were showing the right information, and not really having a way. It just meant you had to test it, which of course you have to do anyways. But the testing was like a next level stressful for the team because of the nature of the data being shared, and they had to be really, really careful about what was being shown. So if there's a way, if that's what this is going to do, if that's going to help scan and say, here's where these pages are visible or who can see them, I don't think that's a bad thing at all.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think it includes those things. So like pages where you have anonymous access to data, but it also includes a lot of site settings and other like parameters you're passing and all kinds of stuff that I don't understand. But you need to understand if you're making this public, right?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Cool.
All right. So now, in the world of over-promising and under-delivering, let's talk about recommending license capacity allocation for Power Platform Advisor. So this on paper sounds like every consultant's like answer, right? Because I don't know about you all, but one of the hardest things is when a client, or even like when you work for a company, when they say, well, how much is this going to cost me? Well, I have no idea, sir or ma'am, because it's near impossible to estimate licensing costs around Power Pages. So this seems like it might be the easy button-ish, where it can at least let us know like what's going on and proactively let us know like, oh, these are some underused and overburdened Power Pages environments. And here's an alert that your capacity is approaching your limit. You probably need to add some more. So it's interesting in a way that can help you manage your environments and your Power Pages before they become a problem. It's not really going to help us with new ones, but it's interesting. It's listed for GA in May, so it's overdue. It's not here yet. There's no screenshots. There's no real details in the release notes. It was written by AI, and there is a little blue box that says some of these features have not yet been released. So it sounds cool, but reading between the lines, I'm really, really suspicious of this one coming to fruition. What do you guys think about this?
Sounds like maybe a graveyard one, but we'll see. If you're not familiar with what that means, watch our year-end recap.
I think we'll talk about this again in December.
Yeah.
But there wasn't a whole lot
Remember
of
when?
announcements for Power Pages, so which
No.
is interesting because I feel like there's a lot of investment there. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that in the next release wave for sure.
Yep, totally agree. Well, when we were talking about which part of the Power Platform we would feature today on Power Tips, all three of us, as we've mentioned, were attending several Power Pages sessions at the DynamicsCon conference, and we all were excited, right? It sounded like there's a lot going on. Can't wait to see what's in these release notes. Well, this is about it. There's not a whole lot more. In fact, I don't think there's anything more, but thank you all for joining us for this episode all about Power Pages. Let's see which of these 5 features makes it into the product. And join us next week where we will dive in to more fun features coming in the Power Platform.